To witness Bill Geiger celebrating the launch of Homebase's intensive clinical program last April, standing among and sharing the podium with the likes of Army Chief of Staff General Mark Milley, was to witness a remarkable demonstration of the power of resilience.
There's not really a scenario in which
The ICP, a critical intervention for veterans struggling with the invisible wounds of war, was born out of a recognition that many veterans like Bill, who desperately need the services of Homebase, live too far away to access them. Clinicians and staff at Homebase created a unique service model for them. Give us 2 weeks, and we will give you the tools you need to reclaim your life. 2 weeks. That happens to be twice as long as Bill and Sarah Geiger's engagement. The rush to the altar, the result of his upcoming deployment to Guantanamo. They did not, however, rush into love. They had first met in grade school and reconnected in college. Sarah and Bill knew each other well, and she knows when things changed.
I knew something was wrong the day he got home from Cuba after his first deployment. He started yelling out commands, basically, and he was yelling them out so quickly that I remember just kind of being frozen and not knowing which way to turn, like what to do first. I truly felt like a deer in headlights.
The emotion was so extreme, the anger was so extreme that, again, it was like it was somebody else doing the talking.
He would tell me over and over again, it's in my head. I'm the one that's being sensitive, or I'm the one that's making a big deal, or, you know, it was just all me.
A second deployment followed, and on his return, so too did the anger and the outbursts. While the family grew, Sarah's hope faded.
We were at the point where he didn't want to come home, and I didn't want him to come home.
She wrote a letter to their pastor, questioning if the marriage had been a mistake. Bill found that letter.
I was heartbroken. So when you realize that you've done something like that to your family, to the point that she really had nobody to turn to, I mean, in my opinion, the preacher's probably the best one, but you know, the fact that she had been alone, I guess, in her struggle, or watching me struggle, I would say that was probably the glaring, undeniable fact that there was something wrong.
Bill took part in the first intensive clinical program. All ICP participants are brought to Boston, housed and fed, and immersed in individual and group therapy, techniques to develop resiliency and stress reduction, integrative therapies like yoga, art, and Tai Chi, as well as fitness and nutrition. A unique combination of wraparound treatment provided at no cost to the veterans.
So maybe I was skeptical that what's 2 weeks going to do for me? It kind of hit me in the face about day 2 of the treatment that it wasn't anything like I'd experienced before.
In 2 weeks, veterans receive nearly a year's worth of treatment and training, and the evidence from follow-up reports shows that the concept is working.
You get an incredible amount of stuff to process, but there's this transformation that takes place from day 1 to day 14. We see these young men and women come in on day 1 and they are isolated. They can't maintain eye contact in some cases. They've got their hoodies up and they really are isolated. By day 14, when we graduate, you just look around the room and they've got a new band of brothers and sisters that they can lean on, that they're now joking around like they're in high school or back in a platoon. And they get up and they actually make self-affirmation speeches talking about how they've been able to change.
Critically, the services continue beyond the 2-week program. Before they even leave for home, the veterans are connected to providers in their home communities, ensuring a continuity of care.
Some of the clinical staff said, we're going to help you find support back home. I was like, okay, yeah, I'll give them a call. I was like, no, come on in my office, let's call some people.
Each of you has had to overcome a great deal of adversity in your life.
I think they are a particularly resilient group. They are altruistic, they have morals, they believe in big principles, and so a little bit of treatment goes a long way, helping them identify. The hardest thing about working with veterans, however, is that they're willing to put everyone else first before themselves.
For those that come after me, for those that are in this room.
Today, Bill Geiger is an ambassador for the intensive clinical program and home base. Sharing his story with other vets is his new mission.
That's why I'm so proud of him for putting himself out there, because I think so many veterans will be able to relate to him.
You feel alone, you might sit in your bedroom and be alone, but the fact is you're never truly alone if you're willing to accept the help that's already here, that's already set up.